Basically, the benefits of this, of supply chain finance on the blockchain, it cuts, down your transaction cost. Because I think it's
Yeah.
just the blockchain that can take this 0.2%, on charges. The banking system will take far more than that. So the first benefit is cutting down your transaction cost, the speed at which your transaction is processed, and thirdly, the transparency. It's not like having a third party sort of transaction where your funds is being hanged somewhere and you're waiting. Oh, the buyer have actually sent the money, the seller has not received the money. So with the blockchain, the benefits of using the blockchain is as a result of having faster transaction, low cost of transaction, and transparency in transactions. Hello, viewers. Welcome to my channel. Let's talk with Susan, and this is Susan Miguel. When it comes to blockchain technology, it's comprised of a whole lot. Blockchain technology has just moved, beyond the cryptocurrency stuff we all know. Now we talk about financial transactions, institution transactions, supply chain, commodities on the blockchain, and people will be like, "Wow, does this exist?" Today we are going to be talking about the benefits of blockchain technology on supply chain. Is it possible for there to be some sort of transaction on supply chain on the blockchain? Yes, it is. All right, today I'm going to be hosting a good analyst and the presence of Rotimi Michael. I want him to tell us the benefits of supply chain on blockchain technology. Blockchain technology has a lot, from the cryptocurrency, from the Bitcoin, which had the first blockchain, to the altcoins, to the DeFi, to the NFTs, to the metaverse, to now the supply chain banking on the blockchain. It's just amazing. So stay tuned as I invite Mr. Rotimi. Mr. Rotimi, you're highly welcome, and we want more education from you on the benefits of supply chain to the blockchain or on the blockchain technology. Thank you. All right. Are we good now?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Um, can you go over the question again?
All
Sorry.
right. What are the benefits of blockchain technology on supply chain finance?
Supply chain finance.
Yeah.
Is it do you mean, sorry ma, do you mean do you want to say standard cross chain finance or supply chain finance? I don't know the root of that word.
Okay. We have right now we know that blockchain now accommodates banking transaction. They accommodate supply chain. They accommodate
Yes.
commodities, transacting on the
Oh,
blockchain. So what I'm trying to say is, what are the benefits of blockchain to supply chain finance? Benefits of blockchain.
okay. The benefit of blockchain to in regards to the supply chain that we are going to discuss is the fact that you want to operate in a transparent society. You want to create an adoption opportunity for something that is not limited to the public, but you want it to go through some level of scrutiny in terms of the people that you are dealing with. So we have seen that the escrow part of the blockchain has enabled people to trust the system. So if
Yeah.
we are using blockchain solutions to foster a good, we are using blockchain technology to foster a good payment structure for the supply chain and for the e-commerce part of the industry. We believe that we are going to get a positive result in that regard, not only because of the fact that the blockchain is fast, but you can pay when you get the service, at that instance
Okay.
when you get the service, before you lay your hand on the service, you can pay just like pay on delivery is. So this is actually one of the best protocol in that regard when we want to determine the escrow service for sending products. Like, let's say I'm selling on Jumia, and I know what I'm selling is good, is of top quality, and I want to receive payment, you know, immediately after the product has been delivered. You know, on the receipt of the product, and you check the product, this is what you asked for, and that is what you get. You can process the payment immediately using blockchain. So using blockchain in that regard, is more of an accessory to fostering trust and transparency at that level. So I think blockchain is blockchain is ready to receive um, adoption in the supply chain space.
Okay. In essence, you talked about the speed. One of the benefits is the speed in terms of transaction, and then the
Yes,
transparency.
definitely.
And then you talked about the escrow. Is it about the middlemen, taking off the middlemen and having all supply chain transaction through the blockchain technology?
Definitely. It's something that we cannot over estimate. We cannot overemphasize it as well. But the only thing I believe we can do to ensure that the space is safe for us to, use and interact is because, you know, we know that this is an emerging market. Crypto is an emerging market, and we believe that for those that will be fully involved in the space, that will be fully involved in the space, we as a person believe that there will become a time that um, trustless transaction will come into play. Once you order, the money will be on the blockchain. Once you receive, the money will go to the merchant. So that is what is called trustless. You don't need to approve payment. You know, the
Okay.
approving of your payment is based on the transactions that happen. So trustless mechanism is built on if I receive, debit me, you know,
Okay. So we're talking
and
about
if I
smart
sell,
contracts here.
yeah, if I sell, credit me. If I receive, debit me. So there's some product that you just purchase, you will not be debited actually until you receive what you purchase. And also there are some businesses that we sell on those trustless community. So those trustless protocol do not need you to approve payment. You don't need to approve payment. All you just need is to just interact. Payment will be done as you interact.
As
So
you
for
interact.
people that will sell, yeah, for people that will come and sell on a trustless community, they'll come and sell the product, deliver the product to those are looking for that product. And those that get the product, provided you have the balance that can cater for the value product that you are purchasing, I believe
Okay.
that I believe you'll be getting those products, provided that you have the value of what you want to buy in your wallet. So for you to just interact with the merchant, you should be able to pay without question. The only question is, have you received? So once you say you have received, or once it has been um, approved that you have received the product, the money will just be deducted from your account without permission. So that is the
Right.
reason why it's called. Uh, that is the future of supply chain. That is the future of supply chain.
That's the
You
future
know,
of supply chain. So presently, do we have some blockchains that are already executing the supply chain?
we only have in the area of logistics, but
Okay.
we don't have at the moment in the area of e-commerce. I
Okay.
attended the forum last month, 27th of August of January rather, 27th of
Okay.
January 2024, and I met with this young guy. Um, they are building a marketplace where you can actually, you know, buy stuff on that marketplace, and the merchants will not get payment until after 7 days. So if you don't want that stuff anymore, you can actually get your money back policy within 7 days. And
Okay.
after 7 days, it is just assumed that you've already you have consented to buying it, you know. So the policy of return back will end after that 7 days policy. So these 7 days, for that 7 days, the escrow will retain the money. The money will not be released to the merchant. You know,
Okay.
the escrow will retain the money for that 7 days, and that is the that is the big characteristics for um that's the big characteristic for the platform. Actually, the platform is just to make consumers comfortable with the product before
Before
uh,
payment.
before payment. Yes, so there's
Okay.
like a 7 day window, and there are terms and conditions on those products that can be returned. So, for example, if you are buying a consuming product, you cannot return it after 7 days. You know, if you are
Okay.
buying, if you are buying, if you buy NFTs, you can, those ones you can as well return it if you are not comfortable with it. If you buy, let's say, shoes, let's say sneakers. Now you buy sneakers, and when you are trying to fit it in, you know, it's not your size, like your actual size. You can actually
Okay.
return the shoe to either get your size or you get a refund. It's based on
Oh,
yeah, it's based on the different reasons for return policies and how you can state your case for the return policy, but it's open for 7 days, and the money will not be refunded to you after 7 days, because 7 days period, the money will be transferred to the merchant. So we have
okay.
seen different, tech that is built around supply chain, but the basic one that I know that people are using now, and it's for the logistic area, we have some consortium of some logistic companies, and what they use is that they use that blockchain smart contract to track the parcel that they are sending. They use it for tracking. The value that the blockchain brings to logistics is for tracking. So let's say you are sending something from here, from Lagos. Okay, don't let us use Lagos. Let's use somewhere clumsy. Let's say you are sending from Enugu, to um, to Mississippi in the United States, for example. So you use God is good from Enugu to send it to God is good logistics service. You use it to send it to Lagos. You use DHL to send it from Lagos to the United States. Maybe it gets to New York in the United States. When it gets to the United States, DHL hand it over to USPS, and USPS take it to Alabama. And on getting to Alabama, now you want to send it to the doorstep. So USPS do not have, possibly USPS do not have network in Alabama. So USPS pass it to FedEx, and FedEx now took it from there to the doorstep. You see, we have like 4 logistics company in that entire journey. And for those 4 logistics companies in that entire journey, if they are under a consortium for logistics, they will just be doing handover and pick up, handover and pick up, handover and pick up until they finally drop off to the location. So for them to be able to track the movement or where it is or the information about the movement, the blockchain is important, because upon receipt, the company's address, we deliver the blockchain information to the next carrier service, and the next carrier service will deliver the information. So for you as a customer to track it out from Enugu to Lagos, from Lagos to New York, from New York to Alabama, from Alabama to the residents in Alabama or Mississippi, wherever location, we need a blockchain for you to be able to track those parcels or the consignment, as the case may be. So we have seen that blockchain is very efficient in that, and we believe that there are consortiums of blockchain of logistics companies that are in one blockchain to offer that network. If you meet with some logistics company, they will tell you that they have network to deliver across the world. It is not basically that they are the one that is going to do all the delivery across those levels, but they will have partnership. They will have, consortium of group of companies that will come together to ensure that they actually deliver the service. So to that end, we believe that blockchain is efficient in that end.
Okay. Like I was going through a particular blockchain. I think IBM does a little of supply chain, and then Standard Cross Finance, as well do a little of supply chain, or I think a bigger part of supply chain. Let me share my screen so you can break this down for our consumption. So this is a transaction on supply chain on the Standard Cross Finance. Can you see my screen, Mr. Rotimi? Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Are you there?
Yeah, I can see your screen. I'm here.
Okay, so this is a supply chain breakdown on a standard cross finance blockchain. Now, we have here total transaction on this supply chain. So there is something I want to understand, and I think it's some questions the viewers as well will want to understand. We understand that the benefits of some of the benefits are one, transparency, like you just mentioned. Secondly, the speed in transaction. Now, looking at the blockchain that has brought about this application, transaction, that supply chain, and total transaction on the supply chain on this particular blockchain is about $126 billion. Now, when we see $126 billion, does it mean that the total volume, because supply chain on the blockchain has to do with speed and transparency, does it mean that the total volume of this supply chain, or the companies behind
Yeah.
supply chain, have done transaction to the tune of 126 billion? Is something, let me see, let me just click here, view transaction details, so we can see these together. And okay, Mr. Rotimi, look at this. We have transaction detail of the quantity. Are we saying that the quantity of the goods that were sent on this particular initiator information, the GL servicials, the GL servicials is actually a supply chain, and the transaction they have done today on this blockchain, like we can all see that this has to do with transparency, because if they did not transact on this blockchain, we wouldn't have actually seen the time. This is 5th of February 2024, transacted at 13:55. I think this should be a GMT time or so, you know, transacted at this time. So that means the total purchase or the money they got in return is about 3,464, FUD, which is equivalent to USDT. Please, can you just break down this one transaction information we have here on supply chain?
Yeah, now for supply chain, we already understand what it means, even from the word supply chain.
Yeah.
So, for people that need some particular services, I'll
Okay.
put it for instance, Nigeria is a country that consumes a whole lot of rice, and we get
Okay.
our rice, we get most of the volume of our rice. Not until recently that Nigeria, start looking into farming rice inwardly to develop that sector. We look at most of the rice that we eat and we get into the shores of Nigeria. They are coming from Thailand. So the perspective of this rice coming from Thailand, using it as an example for this supply chain, is we
Okay.
have people that need rice in Nigeria, and we have people that have rice in
In
Thailand.
Thailand. Okay.
Yeah, using that as a case study. So
Okay.
we now want to, you know, have a center of communication with that company in terms of payment. So let's
Okay.
say this GL service you is the buyer.
Okay.
Let's say this this GL service you, let's say they are the buyer. They're actually paying this 3,464 USDT for the company in Thailand that will supply them the rice.
Okay.
So once they have received their payment, they have seen it on the back office of this platform, then they will launch out to send the consignment to the company that needs the supply.
Okay, so basically, it just simply means that such transaction on the supply chain finance takes out the banking system totally away from this, whereby you can just
Yes.
deal with the company, through the blockchain. No wonder you talked
Yes.
about the speed, you talk about the transparency without having to
Yes.
make some payments, and it's going to go through some process, to third party banks
Definitely.
and all that before it gets to the owner. So at least the viewer would have a more insightful understanding on this, that all they need to do, which are part of the benefits of supply chain finance, is to initiate a transaction on blockchains that supports supply chain finance. Like we can see one, which is the standard cross finance. So, okay, we have this GL Servicio, assuming, like what Mr. Rotimi just said, assuming they want to make purchase of rice. Thailand, I think they are one of the major producers of rice, and supply globally. Assuming they want to make purchase of rice, all they needed to do was initiate their transaction through this Web3 application on a blockchain. I think this is one of the most transparent, blockchain programs that supports supply chain transaction, supply chain finances as well,
Yes.
whereby you can just initiate, make your payment, which you can see the payment, you can see the transaction fee of this particular payment, the blockchain transaction fee, which is the cheapest compared to the third party system, which are the banks. You can see the 6.92 dollars that was paid as the transaction fee the time it was initiated, and the initiator, the people who are actually purchasing. I think this is awesome. This is a wonderful innovation on the blockchain. So we are looking at
So
this Astra PS.
the volume that you are looking earlier is the
Yeah,
total, is the transaction volume that the platform has processed.
has processed over the period of time. I see.
Yes.
I see. I
So
see.
if you now
Okay.
want to understand how much the platform has generated, if you want to understand how much the platform has generated, you know, doing this, then there is, I think, the basic transaction charge that most companies used to charge their um, customers and their clients on the blockchain is
Okay.
0.2 cents.
Okay.
0.2%. So if we are saying, for example, if this total volume of 126 billion, because 126.4 billion, let's say point 0.5,
Okay.
126.5 billion is what they have processed over time. The transaction fee for processing this volume is 0.2%.
Mm.
So this 0.2% is, you multiply 126 by 2, what do you get? You get um 2 250
Okay.
252.
252.
Yeah. So
Okay.
252 of what we get is 252 million in transaction fee, which is accurately
Wow.
done here, you
Wow.
know. So
Wow.
0.2% of 126 billion dollar volume is the benefit that this um, platform has made from processing all those transactions. So at the end of the day, if they are able to process about $1 trillion in volume,
Hmm.
then they will be able to make about two 2 billion in revenue.
Wow. So basically, the benefits of this, of supply chain finance on the blockchain, it cuts, down your transaction costs, because I think it's
Yes,
just the blockchain that can take this 0.2%, on charges. The banking system will take far more than that. So the first benefit is cutting down your transaction cost, the speed at which your transaction is processed, and thirdly, the transparency. you know it's not like having a third party sort of transaction where your funds is being hanged somewhere and you're waiting. Oh, the buyer have actually sent the money, the seller has not received the money. So with the blockchain, the benefits of using the blockchain is as a result of having faster transaction, low cost of transaction, and transparency in transaction. So, Mr. Rotimi, I think these are the major three benefits of supply chain finance on blockchain technology.
definitely, definitely.
Oh, okay,
Spot on.
okay. Okay, this is awesome. So I think one of the most or the biggest blockchain technology so far that brings about a transparent information like we can see now is the standard cross finance chain. When it comes to supply chain, when it comes to commodity, when it comes to banking, I think this blockchain is actually doing a very good job. In her ecosystem, they are doing so well when it comes to this. So, Mr. Rotimi, one more word for the viewers who have contacted me asking me they need a full breakdown of what the benefits are concerning the supply chain finance. With what we have just said, what do you have for that?
The benefit that we have there is, if you're affiliated to these kind of platforms, they actually put you ahead of the competition. They put you ahead of the competition. We have so many competition out there.
Okay,
When we are looking at considering how you are positioned.
you're most welcome. All right. So you can see the benefits of supply chain finance and the SCF standard cross finance chain, which is a blockchain, a public blockchain, that is already implementing supply chain on their blockchain in a very huge form. And they go through these, all this transaction is passed through their decentralized exchange called the fee swap. And do you know something? The FinSwap is having her token private sale going on, which is called the hackathon and the donation period, whereby on this same blockchain that you have seen such volume, you know, when you donate as little as $100, you get the coin of this decentralized trading platform of the blockchain. So you have the FSP coin, which is the utility token of the decentralized exchange, where you see all this major transaction going on. Whoops. Can you imagine how much that token is going to be in the next 1 year from now, in the next 6 months from now? Because if you donate $100, you get $100 of this particular token. Is not a joke. You get 100 units. At the time, people will no longer get 100 units. So don't forget to look into the description on how to download the application for this blockchain and as well on how to buy. Another video will be dropping shortly on how to buy, some or how to donate. Let me use the word donate because that is the word being used presently: the hackathon, the donation, and the gifting. So, how to donate $100, a minimum is a minimum, maximum to any amount. This blockchain is doing so well already. So well already. They have a Web3 application called the FinPay, like you can see, having major supplies, both from the blockchain, from the commodities to, okay, let me just share my screen with you. Let me share my screen with you shortly on that so we can view this for ourselves. It's actually a major blockchain, and it's the decentralized exchange is what having the token, because the token tomorrow can be selling for even $100. Yeah, it can. We've seen other dexes or decentralized exchanges, sell their token for a $1, for a $2. I bought cake. I bought the utility token, which is cake for pancake swap at a $2. And as at when I sold it for a $33. You can imagine, depending on the numbers of units you buy. So if we have a blockchain that supports majorly supply chain finance, that brings about speed, transparency, and taking off all the middlemen away for you to transact directly with your consumers. It is not a joke to have the utility token of that blockchain. So attached to this is going to be a video on how you can download the application, the link you can use in downloading the application, where this blockchain application is, and how to go about if you want to donate to have the utility token of the decentralized exchange that is having all this transaction volume. And I'm going to share with us briefly about the benefits of holding the token. One is it's going to expose you making airdrops day to day on the blockchain. You know what airdrops is? Airdrops is whenever a token is trying to get listed out there, you will be the first set of persons to get the airdrop on the blockchain. That is one utility. And the second utility, which is what is really catching my attention, the second utility on this blockchain, where we see major transaction going on, on the supply chain finance, on the commodities, and on the bank, with the banks, with the banking institution transacting on this blockchain is if you are holding the token of the decentralized exchange where all this transaction is going through, whoops, you will be making money daily and passively from the total transaction that is generated on the blockchain once this utility token is launched out properly in March. Today is 5th of February. I think you can't even afford to miss this. It's something major. Is what holding. Okay, let me just share with you my screen to see what this blockchain is doing already through the banks, through supply chain at large, through commodities. So just stay tuned to this channel and don't forget to subscribe. When you subscribe, you get raw information like this that could be very educative to enable you take some informed decision on what to do and what not to do in terms of blockchain, in terms of forex, and as well entertainment at large. All right, so I'll be sharing my screen shortly. This is it. Let's look at this blockchain together, which is one of the major blockchains. You have transaction going on day to day on supply chain finance. All right, so okay. All right, so this is the blockchain. So this is the banking industry. The banking industry has had a volume of $54 billion worth of transaction on this blockchain. So this is commodities. The commodities have had about $126 billion on this transaction, on her transaction on the blockchain. So this is that of supply chain. This is the center of our attention right now. The benefits of supply chain on blockchain. Remember, one, it has to do with low cost of transaction, speed of transaction, and transparency. These are the three major benefits of blockchain technology on supply chain finance. Like you can see here, this is the supply chain finance. This is international trade. International trade has done about $126 billion on this blockchain. And now, what is the charges of this? This is just about a 0.2% charge that this blockchain charges for all these transactions. That is why I said this is one of the biggest blockchain technology that has brought about, integrating cross-border transactions like the banking institute, the supply chain, the international trade, and the commodities. This is one blockchain that is actually, bringing this to full practicability. So we have the FinPay transaction income. This is what this blockchain has generated with just this Web3 application, with about $867 million generated, already as an income on this blockchain, bringing about that gateway for transaction. So this is the total fee generated in the last 24 hours. So you can imagine a blockchain that makes for herself, just with one Web3 application, makes over a $5 million daily. It is not a joke. Now think of it. How much would you make from this blockchain if you purchase her token, which is the FSP. You donate to the blockchain for development, and the blockchain gives you her token, which is the FSP. All this transaction goes through the decentralized exchange, which is called the FinSwap, which is called the FinSwap. So if you have the token of this FinSwap and you can make passive income just holding the token, and the minimum to start with to get a token from this blockchain in their decentralized token is just $100. $100 gives you access to get daily dividends immediately their token is launched into the market, and the launch period is going to be March. So for people who see the video and you want to make continuous passive income and to sell that token, in the next 1 year, in the next 12 months, in the next 16 months for $100, do you know how much you'll be worth with $100? Selling at $100, that is a $10,000 already, just at your beck and call for holding, the token of this decentralized exchange on this blockchain. All right, so we'll be calling it a day today. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to subscribe, because everything we dish out here is going to be very, very inciting. Very, very inciting. You will love the education aspect of it. You'll love our gossip, where everyone have their opinion. Even myself, I have no opinion when it comes to gossip. Then entertainment news, when we get very good news and very clear information, you're going to see it here to know day to day what is happening all over the world, especially Nigeria, Africa, and some other parts of the world. We're going to bring it to you. So don't feel whenever you feel like commenting, you can just drop your opinion. Your opinion could be very educative. You can just click on the comment box and then drop one or two educative comments for the viewers. So thank you very much, and see you in my next video. I remain Susan, and my channel remains Let's Talk with Susan. Bye for now.